Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bigara War, the Stockport County Fans podcast for county fans by county fans. I am Waggie, and as you can see, I have been left in charge of the buttons once again, all home alone. And so I'll try to be professional. You know, it's not going to happen. I'll be as good as I can. So beside me in Car Crash TV this week, we've got our very own Dan from the review show. How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm
Good.
sunning it up in SK1 this week. So yeah, it's not too bad at all.
Excellent. And thankfully, we do have a fan guest. Much to a lot of planning and other people pulling out, we eventually, and very much grateful for Luke joining us. Thank you very much for joining us, Luke. How are you doing? How's your week been?
Oh, I feel very special because I was asked on the 89th minute of the Bradford game last night to do this.
And you said yes after
I said
89
yes.
minutes.
I knew there'd be a lot to talk about. And Andy was very open about saying I was the fifth choice, I think. So I feel...
Fifth choice. Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Your first choice to us. So
They'll say that.
Go.
Yes.
So agenda for tonight, we're going to obviously talk about our Jekyll and Hyde performance last night against Bradford. We will touch on the Orient game as well, although we won't go too much into detail because Dan and the chaps already did a really good job of doing that. We will talk about planning permission finally getting the go-ahead, which was last Thursday. We will also talk about another £1 million signing and what a handsome man he is. So, yes, we will be discussing Brad Hills about all that. And then we have, to finish everything off, we have our random shit of the week, which, again, I've put Luke on the spot for this. So it'll be quite interesting with what he comes up with this. This is a very much fan guest one. So me and Dan don't have to do a lot, which suits me.
That's why you're in the centre, Luke.
Yes. And it works out quite well because you've got the yellow and blue away kit and then you've got two home kits either side of you. It's as if we planned this type of stuff. No, it's not. Right. Okay. So before we start about talking about the Bradford game, and I said I would do this, I have to apologise to Gazendo because I saw Gazendo at half time last night, and I said to him, "This is going to be an easy 3-0. I can't see that they're even going to score a goal." And he just looked at me and shook his head at me, and I walked off. And then he pulled me on while I was waiting on the way out and just went, "Why did you say that?" So I did say that I would apologise on the pod. So first, Gazendo, I apologise. I won't do anything that stupid again. I can't guarantee that, but I'll try not to do anything that stupid again. So
you say
it's
that.
your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. It's completely my fault. It's not the 11 players.
I said this to Toby in last night's game when the upper tier started singing "Top of the League." We're top of the league. We did that at Leighton Orient, and then it went downhill very quickly. And I said to Toby, "It's too early to sing that song. It's too early to sing that song. And
too early in the season to be singing that song.
It's too early in 90 minutes to sing that song."
Yeah.
So to March at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sort of. It surprised me the starting lineup after his after-match interview on Saturday against the Leighton Orient game, saying basically there's only 4 players that should be playing for us. We need another 6 players coming in, which I don't think, obviously, he's being hypothetical that the 6 of the players didn't perform well. So, what did you think about the lineup and the start or that first half, Luke?
I mean, it's pretty simple, isn't it? It's the best we've played all season. It's the best we've played for several months. Going back to the back end of last season, it was pretty damn incredible. And despite the result in the end, that it feels like there's a real blueprint there. The way we played, Mothersill, Chad Diamond just looked absolutely superb, and the fact that they could cut inside with Dodson and O'Keefe sticking to the wings and putting great balls in, you can see that the blueprint is there, and we really showed it. Because I'm a nerd, I did some stats. I mean, I think we had something like, was it 10 shots in the first half to their Zero. I don't remember them doing anything. We were sort of half laughing at Sartovic trying to run for balls. I mean, he was the one laughing in the end. But there's nothing really to say other than can't really think how we could have improved on it other than getting a couple more goals.
Yeah. What did you think, Dan? I mean, I think the only thing we were missing from that first half was that we should have been 3 or 4-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, with the starting lineup, I wasn't surprised there wasn't mass changes. I think when Challenger does have a blowout and sort of shakes the bars a little bit, he keeps, unless there's injuries, lets the players have an opportunity to prove him wrong and to redeem themselves. And obviously, Camps, I think it's been confirmed he's out for a month. And same again, the other one, obviously Josie Faluru. I didn't expect him to play 90 minutes, so therefore against Leyton Orient. So maybe expecting him to start on a Tuesday night straight away might have been a bit me wishful thinking. And when obviously them two players were missing, it's sort of like, well, I can understand that. Same again, like we said, the 45 minutes of dream football, but I was just nervous with that 1-0 lead. You know, we deserved more than a 1-0 lead. And after being there for Leyton Orient on Saturday, I just felt that, you know, we do have a soft belly, and I was worried. I wanted that second goal, you know, really badly.
Yeah. Do you think that, I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here because I had a chat with somebody today about this. Do you think that we would have been 3 or 4-0 up if we'd have had Nathan Lowe on with the chances that we created? I mean, because that's what he's brought in for, and the conversation he was having was around that he's coming into games now, sort of. I mean, fair enough. Leyton Orient may be a bit different because the Camps injury, and he came in and showed, you know, he scored sort of after he'd come on, but he's coming on when we're either got a lead and we're trying to hang on to it, or we're trying to break the game down and stuff like that. So I don't think we're getting to see the full potential from him. So do you think that and I know I'm not taking anything away from the performance that we had in that first half, it was the best we played this season for sure. Do you think that we'd have took a few more chances if we'd have had that second striker in? And I'm not sure how we'd fit him in.
Well, yeah. Would we be missing something in the sense that Diamond and Mothersill wouldn't have the freedom that they have?
Yeah.
Or potentially lose something from midfield. I mean, my bad memory of last night in the first half is we were really strong. The goal came from outside of the box. A lot of the shots actually came from outside of the box as well, from my memory. So perhaps there's something to that. We needed somebody else in the box to be able to get on the end of something.
Yeah.
But my overall thoughts are: can we not play well for 2 halves?
Well, but that again has been the story of the season, hasn't it? So far this season, we have not had a full game where we played decent. We've had 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes where we've played well, and the rest of it we've just sort of been hanging on. And we've, I suppose, in the way we've got away with it, didn't we? We've got away with it against Wickham. We got away with it against Leyton Orient to a certain extent. We ran away with a point, didn't we? You know.
Yeah.
And then last night we had the Rocky Upper Arse played brilliantly in the first half, and then the second half it was like a load of lucky likers had come out. Because I didn't feel that, and this is no disrespect to Bradford, because I know there's a lot of Bradford fans that have come on about challengers' comments about us being disrespectful, but I don't think that they really changed their game that much or up their game that much. I think our levels dropped that much that it made them look better than what I didn't think they were much better than the first half.
I think they did a little tactical switch, didn't they? I think they packed the midfield out a little bit more. They moved Patterson back into midfield, and that sort of nullified Moxon and Norwood a little bit. So I say slight little tweaks. That's all it takes. But yeah, I felt they won the midfield battle in that second half completely. And then what happened with ours, same against Leyton Orient, our wing backs started to regress until they were actually back 5, until the point where actually they're sort of getting behind for the nearest players to Corey to certain points. And once they start regressing, everything then starts to regress and come backwards. And we same again. I don't know if it's a fitness thing, but 70 minutes we seem to hit a wall, not just physically, but mentally as well. Decision making goes completely askew. Players look like worldies in the first half, look like dog and duck players in the second half, and they're making the wrong decisions, making the wrong passes. They're scared to receive the ball. They don't want to look forward. It's just, like I say, I personally think it's a mentality thing, not like a talent or a technique thing. I think it's just a mental thing that's like a mind blocking the players, and once they start going backwards, they get stuck in that rut.
That early goal, that's a kick in the bottles, isn't it? That's going to change your mentality in minutes. And it was interesting what Charlie said about that. Is that it was a carbon copy of the semi-final goal at our place against Leyton Orient. And did you see which player it was? He didn't.
I think it was. Go on. I think it was rather Moxon or Ethan Parr he was on about. It's one of them two players. And to be honest, you could actually criticise both of them. In all fairness, let's not put it on one. The both, I think, Moxon for basically ball watching and being slow to respond, and then same again, Ethan Parr switching off and allowing the player to get a 2-yard stride on him. But saying that, I think I could blame everybody in that position, because once that ball comes across, for Swan, is it Swan wanted to score?
Swan scored,
who's picking up? Why is that he's allowed to get to the ball? So central defenders switched up. It's not a very good goal individually, but as a team, I think, and it's a probably one that Challen has actually banged on about before as well. So he's more frustration.
I went back and looked at the Leyton Orient goal. It was Moxon's man. It was Moxon's man both times, unfortunately. Right. Which is really disappointing, because I think he's had a strong start to the season.
He's had a really good start to the season. I think he's had a really good start.
Scored yesterday.
Do you think though as well do you think it's to do with fitness? Because I don't think we've had a very good pre-season. We've only played 4 competitive games. I know, we've played 4 proper friendlies, haven't we? We played 1, I think, behind closed doors, didn't we, against Everton, Everton under 21s. But I think we only played 4 games, which I don't think's a lot. And I know Charlie said that he doesn't like pre-season games, and he'd have preferred Pinatar not to have a game. He just wanted to have that week of them all bonding together and all getting to know each other and putting everybody through the fitness. So do you think that it's still a lot of the players that are trying to find the fitness, because that we've maybe not, some of the players we've only just brought in quite late, and they've had stop-start sort of pre-seasons themselves. So do you think some of that is, especially like, say, when you're talking about the wing backs, they've not really had a pre-season. So is it still them finding their fitness?
I mean, is it not concentration? 3 minutes into the second half, you should be pretty well rested.
Yeah. I mean,
I know what you're saying.
But I mean, that's obviously, Gazendo said there, conceding the goal 3 minutes in the second half was more telling than their change of tactics. We lost momentum and played with fear, which I think is, I think he's spot on with that, isn't he? That really knocked the stuffing out of us. And I think maybe with Challener's comments on Saturday after the Leyton Orient game, and with us being that way, is that, they've come out sort of riled up because Charlie said, carry on doing what you're doing, do what you're doing. And then they score that early goal. And then all of a sudden we're back to drawing the game, and we just couldn't get ourselves going again.
A good point my lad Toby brought up as we do as we're walking back to the car, and he's spitting feathers that we've lost the game. But obviously being so early in the game, that free kick, and obviously a bit unlucky on Carl Wood, and he's gone up to jump head for the ball, and the ball seems to have sort of rolled down his arm. And same again, Toby's mentioned the point. The Bradford actually had the ball when it came off Carl Wood, and the referee could have played an advantage, but he didn't. He stopped and took for the free kick. Why isn't somebody, a county player, standing on that ball to stop them taking not just a quick free kick, but to slow the game down, let the county defence get themselves into position and organise themselves. Yes, you're going to get the referee to say move away, otherwise he's going to give you a booking. But same again, are we just not being game management smart enough? You expect a player just to stand on the ball, stand in the way, just to stop them taking that quick free kick, and we all just seem to turn off the ball and switch off. And like I say, are we just not? We've said this before. We're quite naive a team at times, and I just think we just need to be a little bit more game smart.
We've got to be quite a young. Sorry, say that again, Luke. No, carry on.
No, I was just going to say how many times we've said that over the years. Like even during the Charlie era, we haven't been that street smart. When a Stevenage comes to town, Mansfield, these teams are the definition of shit houses. They tend to get the better of us.
Yeah. It's like Chris Crowther. He makes that. We miss someone's shithouse like Madden did, and to a certain extent, Sars as well, wasn't he? He was one of them that was a shithouse, wasn't he? Yeah. So yeah, we. But again, we are quite a young team, aren't we? Really now, certainly now because I mean, even Moxon, is he 25? Is he, or is he a bit older? I'm not.
He's about 24, 25.
Yeah. We've only obviously got Norwood and then Connolly. And Wotton,
they're both late 20s though. Connolly and Wotton.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they're not over 30. So it's still, and although it's still a new squad, isn't it? The players that we've got the core there, but still we brought these and we bought much better players in. So is it everybody trying to get on that same frequency? I mean, it can't be, can it? Because we saw that first half. That first half, as we keep saying, waxing lyrical about it, we were just absolutely wiping the floor with them. And then I think you say that early goal in the second half just completely knocked the stuffing out of us. Moxon's 27.
Right, there we go.
It's 2 games on the trot now where the half time has come at the wrong time for us, and it's suited the opposition. They've managed to get them in the changing room. And a lot of people say, well, what's Challoner saying to the lads and stuff like that? Well, I guarantee you now, Challoner's not going to telling the lads to go out in the second half and perform like that, is he? He's telling them to go and get the second goal. He's telling them to kill the game off. He's telling them, I want to see much of the same. Keep the tempo up. People go, it must be Challoner. Yeah. And it's like, no, it's not Challoner. Challoner's not telling them to go and, stay in the changing room, have a cup of tea, and because that's what's happened. They've not come out the changing room the last 2 games at half time. The team.
Do you think we've maybe done something like Man United and like cut the biscuits down, changed them from like chocolate digestives to ginger nuts or something like that, and they're all pissed off about it, so they don't like it after half time.
More like pink wafers at the moment.
Either that or
what do they need back? Do they need the Bourbons back?
Yeah, they want the Bourbons back. Or should we let Clint Hill and Dave Conlon do the halftime team talk instead and see if that makes a difference?
You could just Ollie Norwood's not come out perform because he's got half his biscuit floating about in his cup of tea.
He's dropped his digestive, half his digestives in his tea, so he's like, fuck that, I'm not playing the second half.
But yeah.
It is, you say it's night and day. I think you mentioned it, Dan, when in our group chat. I think it will click, and someone's going to get a hiding. Yeah. I think, and for me, we're only 4 games into the season. If this is our blip, if this is us trying to find our feet, up until last night, we've got 7 points from 9 against 3 teams that are going to be there or thereabouts, which I think is a good return. Fair enough, it's 7 from 12 now. But again, if we beat Burton, this is me being obviously my optimistic head as always, even when Andy's not here. If we beat Burton, that still gives us an average of 2 points per game. So if we get 2 points per game, that takes us to 92 points, and that gets us up. So
absolutely.
So
I think we've had the hardest start. I think we've had the hardest start of any other team in the league. Looking at it, take Go on, Waggie.
I was just going to say, but even again, you even look at like the likes of Huddersfield. They got beat by Blackpool at the weekend. Teams are still finding their feet. And
is only Stevenage that are unbeaten now? There's only one team in the division.
I've not looked at what the results were last night. I was just dumbfounded when I came out the ground. I was a bit mute.
Yeah, scratching your same, and it was very much the same in Leyton Orient to a certain. You sort of felt that we were sleepwalking as soon as that first goal equaliser went in for Bradford. I sort of looked at Toby and I thought, "Are we going to lose this?" Because it just felt that the momentum swing was complete, and you sort of knew that SAR started to get hold of the ball, started looking dangerous, and you think, oh, you know what's coming. You just know what's coming.
But do we? I mean, after what I've just said, do we agree with what John Lindley says in the comments? We could be on the wrong end of a hiding if we're not careful. Do you think?
We have 5-0 last year against Wickham,
and then we beat Bolton 5-0 the game after.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we've rode our luck at times in a lot of games. Obviously the Bolton game, we would say we rode our luck. We just took our chances. Bolton had enough chances to score in that game. Wickham, same again. There was a period with Wickham when they made them 4 substitutions that we were hanging on for that game, and if they didn't miss the penalty, we would have only come away with a draw. So yeah, I mean, like I say, we've rode our luck at times, but like you say, we're playing, I think, a little bit of a different style this season to what we did last season. Going forward, we look really strong, but we're soft when there's a... for me, Bradford came out and said, right, get in their faces, get stuck to them, get tight, go man to man, and we cowered away from it. We shrunk away. I think, and it was confirmed, I think, last night as well by Sam Byrne, that like we said on the review show, Lewis Bate will be out till Christmas and the New Year, and we said that on the review show first. So I think we need a midfielder in that's going to be an enforcer, a ball winner. I'm going to upset a few County fans and put Andy Cannon at Wrexham. I think he'd come in and do a job for us in that centre midfield. Shaking heads already.
Yeah. No, I understand that type of player. I understand definitely what you're saying.
But he's been told by Wrexham he's not needed there, and I think at this time of the season,
I don't think he'd dare to show his face again in a county shirt. I'd be honest. I think he's that boat sailed.
Yeah, but if not him, that for me, that type of player.
Yeah,
because it might not do 90 minutes, but we need somebody that just comes in and grabs the game in that centre midfield. Because at the moment, Moxon and Norwood can't do that for 90 minutes, especially when we're on the back foot. And I think we're missing that midfield player to do that for us.
Do you think because all summer we've been so heavily linked with him, and I know, again, he's only a young player, and on Yango, he's a midfielder, defensive midfielder. Do you think if and when we bring him in, that he'd be able to be that player? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. I think he's one of them players. He'll pick up a lot of yellow cards. It's a fine line from yellow to red, but same again. I think he's strong. He's physical. He's the perfect player.
Have we not already got these players? I'm sorry. Have we not already got these players? I mean, I know Bates injured, but Moxon is that kind of player that you're sort of describing. You can't spread the ball around them.
He's not shown to be that type of player, though, has he? You know
not
what I mean?
That enforcer.
Yeah, he's a very similar. I think I put him and Camps as very similar players. I think they're sort of a bit more attacking minded. That's the impression that I get from those type of players. So yeah, maybe we need a young Ollie Norwood with
a younger Ryan Crowsdale, a Tony Dinning, a Jason Taylor, a Paul Turnbull, somebody that will stay on their feet, tackle, win the ball, and pass it 10 yards. Nothing more. We'll run a terrier, we'll snap at ankles, win balls, an absolute fever of a player. He's a rash. He's all over you. He doesn't let you get away. Doesn't give you time on the ball. That's what we're really missing, I think, at the moment.
Port Vale have a player just like that.
It's called Ryan Crosdale.
Ryan Crosdale, that's his name.
But as I say, there's obviously been. We keep everybody seen this rumor that we've signed on Yango. I've had a look on Transfer Market. He's out of contract at Everton, but obviously he's only 22. So I'm guessing that you have to pay a fee, don't you, for under 24s? So they're still tied to the club, even if they don't actually have a contract. I think that's correct.
I think he might have. I'm sure they had 1 year option on him, and I think they've enabled that option because he was actually on the bench against Leeds.
He was on the bench on Monday night. Yes, he was on the bench on Monday night.
So same again. I was a big fan of his. I think he's, he's big and strong, and he has that bit of swagger, like Brad Hills does. Again, a bit of swagger, a belief in his own ability. So I say. Same again, Jay Mingy. A fit Jay Mingy is another player that I know he plays his right centre back, but same again, he's been said that he can play as a defensive midfielder. I think he'd be another one that would do that job for us in that centre midfield at times. So yeah, that's I think.
Well, the other one, what about Connolly? If we move Connolly forward to that position and then put Olowu in,
I don't think Connolly's got the legs
very often there.
Well, he's played like 150 games in the Championship in that position, didn't he, for Blackpool? Same again, Ethan Pye. I know you're sort of like taking him out of defence because of the left side.
I would definitely not for me, for Pye. He needs to stay in the defence. But I think Matt Baxter has made a pretty decent point. Good point. Field the new players, Hills, Lowe, Mothers Hill. They're not fit enough for 90 minutes yet. We need time for them to gel. Not worried. ... yet. He was almost on the positivity train there, wasn't he? And then he just jumped off as he came through the station. Just as we were going through the station.
But this is County. We start badly, I know last season we started winning the first 3 games, but traditionally we know that we always start slowly. You could say that's all a myth and not that, but that's what happens. Same again, we've got 2 games left of the month. We come away with August with 13 points on the board. And when you look at that, 13 points for August, that will actually be a really, really good start of the season.
It's a great start.
It's only going to get better. We know we are not playing the best football. It's not the finished article. We've nowhere seen the best of players yet, and we won't probably do till, I would expect, January, February, to be honest, that we're actually going to start seeing the best.
No, I completely agree. And looking at the first 4 games, what are the odds that we get worse or better? It seems more likely we'll get better. We've got Dave Challoner. We signed great players. We're probably going to sign at least 1 more. It's not. You're right. That big yet that Matt Baxter added to the end, it deserves to be there, but it's not there yet.
Yeah. I still think, as I said at the beginning of the season, any team that finishes above us goes up as champions, and I still stand by that. We're still going up either second or we're going up as champions. We've got far too much talent. We've got far too much talent for it to. We've got far too much talent on the field and off the field for it not to happen. Do you think? I was on BBC Radio Manchester earlier, and they posed a bit of a question, which talking about the way that Challoner responded last night and the way that he responded after the game against Leyton Orient, and they said, "Do you think that he's feeling the pressure with his outbursts? That he's feeling the pressure that we're one of the favourites to go up from this division this year." So do you feel that there's a lot more pressure on us than there was last year? I know a lot of us said that if we'd have gone up, it'd have been brilliant. But because we didn't go up, it's not the end of the world, because that squad was built for this year. And we've added again to that squad. So, do you think he's feeling the pressure?
Go on, Luke.
Pressure from himself, do you think? So
That's what I mean.
he's got this
Pressure from
fantastic
himself.
record. I don't, he's the best manager in the league. I think most people can see that. The likes of Mark Stott and Simon Wilson will be able to see that as well. So I highly doubt he's got pressure coming from that point of view. He'll put pressure on himself, though. There's no doubt about it. Maybe that's why, this outburst that it had at Leyton Orient, we always say he does sort of 1 or 2 a season.
Yeah.
And it does feel quite early this season. But I think it was Mansfield last year he had it. And it was about the 5th game in, 6th game in. So maybe it's
what did we do after Mansfield? Did we draw or did they beat us? That was New Year, wasn't it?
We never lost last season 2 games on the trot, did we?
Yeah, we never lost the 2 games on the trot. But after Mansfield, once we got beat by them, we not go like 12, 13 games undefeated or something like that. So we've got a run in us, as you say. Once that clicks, we'll be flying. We'll be absolutely flying.
That's what the odds suggest. Is that if it's more likely to get better than it is to get worse.
I mean, Challoner's a natural born winner. Let's be absolute. That's why he doesn't like friendlies. He wants to win everything. I'd hate to be in the Challoner household and having to play Monopoly with him, because that board is going to get thrown up in the air and there's going to be a massive argument and tantrum if he's not winning, or someone's being the banker and being a bit dodgy. He's not having none of it. And he doesn't care if he's playing with his 7-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid. He's winning. End of story. He's a natural born winner, and that's what we want. He tells it truth. He doesn't. Everyone says he's throwing out players out to dry. I don't think he's named any players, and he's not. He won't. He's very honest, and he will tell the lads in the change room exactly what he's told everybody else. So he's not going in there saying one thing and us another. Everybody knows where they are. They're grown men. There's a leadership group that same again. That leadership group should have got hold of the players after full time and said, right, everybody's down at the training ground for 8 a.m. in the morning today before the coaches got in, and we sit down and have a talk about last night's game before the coaches and Dave got in. That's what the leadership group should have been doing.
Is it a crisis?
No, it's not.
I understand what you're saying, Dan, but is it at that point that we need to? Because I'm going back, and what I'm referencing here is, when we talked to Sean Connolly, and he talks about the 96-97 season, and they under Dave Jones, they lost like the first 4 matches. Drew, or they only got something like 4 points or something from the first 7 games. So they all then, because of that, because basically it was the amount that Dave Jones was about to get the sack, so they all went into a room together and basically said, "What the fuck's going on? Why are we in this position?" And then they had that conversation, and that's because the manager was really under pressure, and because we'd only got 4 points from 10 games or something. So are we really at that point where we need to be doing that?
Yes.
The players need to be doing that? You think so?
Yes. Yeah, because that Dave Jones team, there weren't the expectation of going up as not just as champions, but automatic promotion. There was an objective of we could have a good season, but there weren't that pressure, should we say, of being in the top 4 or 5 teams in that division. There is this season with this team. Now, if it was a one-off game, you put it off. But after the 45 minutes of Leyton Orient, and then obviously the 45 minutes second half against Bradford, there needs to be a conversation with them senior players to nip it in the bud, or to identify, not to single out individuals, but identify certain things they need to be working harder at as a group of players. Because if they want success this season and their desire is to get promoted, that is going to come as well from the players, as well as the fans, as well as Dave Jones, as Mark Stott, Simon Wilson. And if the players want it, it's a lot. It's what else can Dave Challoner do?
Yep. Okay.
I think they give him all the facilities. They give him an environment to perform, to excel. They've got excellent training facilities, excellent rehab, gym, everything. What else can Dave Challoner do? I think it's going to come from the players.
Okay. Well, we've obviously, while we've been talking about that, we've got a few comments coming in. I'll start with Gazendo. I have no worries at all. The first half shows our capabilities. The second shows we need to get fitter. Both will happen. And I've got to say this because someone's actually agreed with me. It makes it sound like I know what I'm talking about. So no, not that one. Oh, come on. That one. Well said, Waggie. There we go. Yay. I think Cardiff may be the Birmingham from last season. That's an interesting comment. We can probably come back to that one. Might be a bit of pressure again from Gazendo, considering the money that Stott has given him.
Yeah, he spent big.
Yeah. Definitely more pressure with a lot of money spent from Chris Carroll there. Matt Baxter, new contract in the summer. Only pressure is from himself. And then regards the crisis, Gazendo again, nowhere near a crisis. I would have taken 7 points from our first 4 games, considering who we've played. John Lindley, 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Crisis, don't think so. Dave Whitehead, our friend Dave Whitehead, nowhere near pushing the panic button yet, man. 4 games in, loads of positives, and it can only get better. So,
but to your point, then I think crisis. That's a bit hyperbolic.
Yeah. I don't think it's not crisis now.
Yeah, but I think it's a reasonable start. Serious players that want to do well, they will be having a serious look at themselves and each other and having conversations about it. I think you're absolutely right on that front. I don't think any professional footballer will be happy with playing so well in the first half and playing so poorly in the second half. Yeah. They'll be having serious conversations about this week, and that's. I think we'll see an improvement. I'm almost certain of that.
Yeah. At any level of football or team sport, if you put that first half performance in and then you put that second half performance in, there's going to be a closed door to that changing room after the game and a conversation between that team.
Oh, God, I'd hear him in Liverpool, I think, if that happened. Yeah. Even with the closed door.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're a pub team or a Sunday league team. It doesn't matter what sort of team or what sort of sport. Going from that performance, and like I say, you've gone from Barcelona to dog and duck. It's...
Never has that been said in the same sentence. No, I agree. Matt Baxter again comes in. Main reason we talk promotion is because it would be a repeat of the last two seasons or the last 2 championships, National League, League 2. We have no right, despite our players, and only hard work will make that happen. Which is, I totally understand, and I think we're pretty much all agreed, though. As you said, it's only going to get better once these players gel. Somebody's in for a hiding, and we're going to go on a decent run. I can't see us getting a hiding because we've still got goals in the team.
Yeah,
we are still going to score goals. So if we can stop those mistakes and running out of gas, once that bit is sorted, then we'll be absolutely flying.
Like I say,
we're still creating good chances, and I think we've had the 3rd most corners in the league. So we're getting in the right areas.
This is me putting me Russ mask on. I've not really got one. I'm not that strange. All right. Hypothetically, because
I bet your missus is glad.
Yeah. But he's all about his stats and figures and all that type of stuff. And the thing that he picked out for the pre-season show when we all talked about what we thought was the best thing was Dave Challoner came out and said, I want to have better XG than we had last year. And last year we had the 2nd best XG behind Birmingham in the league. And so that is what we're looking for. And that's, you can see the players that we brought in, that is what is built, isn't it? As Dan said, as you said, Dan, we're changing the way that we play compared to last season. We're more wing backs, crosses, that type of stuff. And we've still got the players that we like, Mothershill, Diamond, Fevs, that can collect the ball and come inside and stuff like that. So
and the other thing as well, maybe we didn't give actually much credit to actually how influential Tanto was to that team and what he actually offered that team as well. Because same again, I think if you had Tanto in this squad, in that team, I think some of them results would have been a lot better in our favour. I think he's a big miss, and even though we've brought in different players, I don't think we've actually got a Tanto-like player in that squad.
Yeah, I thought Mothershill might be that type of player, but I don't think he is looking at him so far. But again, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not he's not fit at the minute. No. But
it's going to take time. It's a gelling process. It's going to take time. We'll get there. I'm happy. Like I said, I think we're closer to getting it right than closer to promotion than we are in a crisis or relegation or something silly like that. Yep. It's just one player or a tweak or a confidence thing. But like I said on the chat, I think in the next 3 or 4 games, I wouldn't be surprised if we give somebody an absolute whooping. I really do. I think 4-5-0 up at half time, because it's a little bit of luck as well. It's involved with the chances that we create. And I think it'll just click in one game and we'll end up scoring 3 goals in 10 minutes.
Yep. I mean, to your point, we nearly did that at Wycombe, Orient, and yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
We only have 4 games.
Yeah,
so,
and it's just a little bit of luck.
Can we, sorry to do a bit of a gear change, can we talk about Toure and Sarcevic for Bradford?
No.
You're the boss. Is this you with your Russ?
No, this is just. I don't give a shit. They don't play for us anymore. That's basically that's my take on it.
Waggie asked the questions.
Yeah. No, the only thing I'll say is that there are obviously a few people booing Toure. I thought that was a bit disrespectful. He did a job for us. He played. He maybe wasn't the flavour of the month a lot of the time, but Dave Challoner took a lot of that on himself, that it was his fault for playing Toure out of position and that type of stuff. He still won a title with us. He's a title-winning player, so I think that was a bit naive. Sars is Sars. It's a bit of a name drop. I met Paddy Madden outside the ground before the game. He was there because he'd come back to watch, obviously, because Sars was playing and stuff. He's still good mates with Sars, and he said, "Well, I'm hoping that on Saturday when Sars plays again, that he's going to have a black eye, because Paddy said that if he scores, he's going to chin him." So I'm hoping he keeps that promise. But no, he used to say I did like that Sars didn't celebrate his goal, which is just respect. So I'm respectful of what they did for the club. They're not at our club anymore. They got better deals when we did offer them contracts, and that's the way it is. It was, as you said, I think. I mean, I'd love to see stats about this, but we've got to be one of the teams that has the most goals scored against them by ex-players, because it just seems every player, you know what I mean? It's every county fan just expects that to happen, don't they? Like we said, we knew Sars was going to score last night. We thought, a lot of people beforehand were saying Toure is going to score tomorrow night. Toure is going to score against us. Toure.
Did you see that Ranga he scored on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was. No, it wasn't Saturday. It was
in the cup.
It was the cup against Blackburn. Yeah.
But it's the same again. And we all thought if Nick Powell plays, you could write it. He's going to come on for the last 5 minutes and score the winner if Nick Powell played in that game.
Well, that was why it was announced yesterday, because it has to be 48 hours prior to a game before they are eligible to play. So I'm guessing that was an agreement between the two clubs that he couldn't play. That it does make me laugh though about the Powell is I've seen a couple of Bradford fans that have posted a reel about this is what we're getting, and it's showing all these Powell super goals.
It might as well be black and white footage.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly. I was surprised that it wasn't like imprinted on a tablet on a piece of stone, because I think the last one, the newest one from it was something like 6 years ago. But it's like, yes, he has got that in his locker.
Yeah,
but
he's a great player.
He is a great player. On the day, he's a great player. Unfortunately, he's just too injury prone for us.
And we saw him more in the courtyard than we did on the pitch last season.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
he was giving more interviews before the match than he was actually playing, which is a massive shame because he is class on his day.
Yeah,
he really is.
Gazendo, Powell apparently pulled a hamstring making his tea. Brilliant.
But like I say, no, I mean, to be honest, I think Sars got a good round of applause when he came off as sub. Like I say, the county legends at the end of the day. I know it's a little bit early, but in 10 years' time, we'll be talking about these players just as much as Alan Armstrong's or a Tony Didin or a Brett Angel. Torre's a title winner. Sarcevic is a double title winner. There isn't many county players that you could say have won 2 titles in a county shirt. So,
and they played exactly as we knew what we were getting, and they played exactly to their abilities. Sarcevic, particularly the second half, was great. Torre was solid, as he always is. Not that dynamic going forward. I think he was always one of the weaker players in our team over the last year or two. I don't think that's a controversial statement, and I think we've upgraded with Dodgson because some of the crosses that guy puts in is fantastic, and he suits what Challoner's trying to do, as in Dodgson suits what Challoner's trying to do far better than Ibi Toure does.
Yes,
but Ibi Toure he's a great player.
Absolutely. So we have been on for 47 minutes already, and we've only basically talked about the Bradford game. So we're not going to talk about the Leyton Orient game. That was covered by Dan and the chaps in the review show. So everybody can get that online and stuff. So last Thursday, and because we will talk about, like I said, it was if Carlsberg did Thursday, then last Thursday was a Stockport County Carlsberg day, wasn't it? We had, firstly, they announced that they were going to sell the keeper kits, although apparently there was only 40 of them on sale. But anyway, that's a different. We might get to that. Very much doubt it because we're rambling. We then said that we'd signed Brad Hills, re-signed Brad Hills, or signed Brad Hills on a permanent deal, which is absolutely brilliant. We'll talk about him after this. And then the final one that we got given the planning permission. So planning permission side, are you excited about that? Do you think we need it? How do you see it affecting attendances or affecting the local area and stuff like that? You think it's good? I mean, yeah. Go on.
No,
Luke. What do you think? Sorry, Dan. Apologies.
No, sorry. Go on, Luke.
It's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, I think we all have season tickets, right? Yeah, I know I do. Whenever I have a friend who wants a ticket, I can never really get them one. It seems like, unless they're super early, it's really hard to get one. So the demand seems to be there to get more fans in, and the ambition of the club is to be championship level, and this really fits it. I think we're average attendance at the moment sort of 9,000, which puts us top 10, I think, in League One.
Okay,
give or take. So yeah, it's nothing but positive. Unless you care about that wildlife reserve that's next to the stadium.
I'm not really into newts, so
the rats in it.
Yeah.
It's probably an endangered species of rats more like than anything else around there.
But it is exciting. I mean, how old is the Cheadle End now? Is it nearly 30 years old since the Cheadle End has been built? And we haven't had really
94, 95 was it completed?
Yeah, I think it was. So it's like 30 years old. So yeah, it's exciting. Like I say, I go to my Toby. He's 15. He knows Edgeley Park as it is now. I remember when the Cheadle end was about 6 layers of steps.
Yeah, the pop side still classes the pop side.
Yeah, and so it's exciting. It's absolutely exciting. Same again. When it's built, I'll be looking at what the seat views and what the opportunities are to go and sit in the new side would be. And it's progress. It shows that the club is moving forward, progression. It's a milestone. It rejuvenates the area. It will give businesses, the pubs, more people in the area on a match day. Yes, it's going to be a bit more chaotic with traffic, but it's going to be 18,000 people at the end of the day. It's not going to be 80,000, 60,000, 40,000. It's all manageable with a bit of common sense. And same again, I don't know if you guys picked up on it as well. In the same week, they've said that the work on the new tram stops in Stockport should start by 2030 as well. So that'll all key in with it as well. So it's not just about Edgeley and Edgeley Park, but like I say, if they get them tram stops into Stockport, that'll boost that sort of like, it's just all good news. And let's ride on that wave and not be negative about it. I know we can all find things to moan about. It's county at times. There's always something that's calamity county, isn't there? If it's the pies being changed or the season tickets not being sent out in enough, or the wrong size shirts have been ordered, or there's always something to moan about, but there's a lot more positive than there is negative.
Yes, definitely. I think Gazendo makes a good point. The overall redevelopment won't happen without promotion, though, which I think is fair enough.
Yeah.
I think, I think they said they're going to put an extra 600 seats, aren't they, on the Bagara stand, on the main stand. I think that's going ahead. They've got a short-term one to put a roof over the railway end, haven't they? Which
should happen pretty quickly.
That should happen pretty quickly because that's like almost a semi-temporary one. But it's like it is all good. And Matt Baxter also makes a good point here: is that if only we had a major property developer as our owner. Wait a second. Oh yeah, we do, don't we?
But same again, the problem is at the moment that a lot of like big development projects is just so expensive at the moment. I mean, is it like a national shortage at the moment in this country? Concrete all being taken up with the high-speed rail thing. And so where I live is near where I live, very close to where Sizewell C is being built. And there's a development project. I have never seen something so off the scale in my life. They've bought a holiday park that's a mile away from me, Pontins Holiday Park. The actual Sizewell, I think it's EDF Energy, have bought the holiday park so they can house the workers in it during the construction. The construction is a 10-year project. And like I say, so the cost of it, the same again, will just spiral. But it's exciting. I mean, like I say, every time, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to away grounds, I look at stands and I go, I'd like that instead of the pop side. When you see a big stand, that'd look quite nice. Or I don't like that. I wouldn't want to stand like that. I'm like trying to fit what a stand would look like in replacing the railway end on the pop side. And you think of the pop side, that'll be a big stand. You expect that to actually have the changing rooms in and all the offices in and stuff like that. And it's going to be really, really exciting.
I never think he's the Bagara stand though. I never think that. I think it looks it's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah,
it certainly is to us. And I know Daniel Story did the full 92 last season, and I think he put us 14th. And he said based on just looking at the Bagara stand, you know you're in an amazing place. And I agree with him. But I think to your point, Dan, it's like the demand seems to be there. I speak to a lot of dirty Reds and dirty Blues, who claim to be United and City fans who want to come to County, but they find it really difficult to get a ticket. And when the club's doing well, the town tends to do well. Stockport was named by the Times the best place to live in the Northwest last year. So
the Berlin of the Northwest or something. I've heard quoted. But anyway, yes, yeah.
Yes,
it's all exciting. It's all exciting. And time is pushing on. So I need to push us on. I need to push us on. So, as I mentioned, though, obviously it has never happened before in a county history that this season we have signed 2 £1 million players. So we've signed Mothersill, and now we have got that handsome man, that handsome bastard, Brad Hill's back. Was either of you expecting that? I mean, what do you think that we've spent $1 million on 2 players, and we're in League One, even in the Championship. And I know that the different days, it was a different time, the prices were different, and we paid 840,000 was our record fee that we paid at the time for Ian Moore. But that to even think that we were breaking our record signings twice in a season to bring 2 £1 million players in, and one of them being Brad Hills, how good is that? I mean, firstly for signing Brad Hills, and secondly for it being £1 million player.
Not just that though, both of them players, you could have an argument that I'd expect Championship clubs have gone in for them as well, and we know
they did.
Yeah, and we've beaten Championship clubs to their signature, regardless of the money that's involved. I think the wages are probably there or thereabouts, maybe what they might have been offered at other clubs, but the fact that they've wanted to come to play for Stockport County in League One, opposed to X, Y, and Z in the Championship, says everything that what's going on, what players see with the manager, the reputation that the manager's got, the training facilities that we have. Other players like Ollie Norwood obviously will speak to them and stuff like that and convince them to come. So it's brilliant that we've got that. Same again. I think Brad Hills was very much an opportunist one. I think Dave Chandler said that. We all expected him to have a good season and be in the pushing at Norwich. He was very involved in their pre-season. Yeah. New manager had a good look at him. Unfortunately, said that he wasn't in his plans, and allowed him to go and find a club. I'd expected us to come on loan, to be honest, because a lot of Norwich fans do rate him still, and because he's only 21. But we managed to get that opportunity. I believe Brad Hills, when he was told that he could leave, the only club that he was interested in signing was us. Same again, that's brilliant. It's just positive again. We signed. He wanted to sign a 5-year contract with us as well. So he's in the project. We've sold him the club. The fans have sold him. Everybody sold. He's in. He's bought into it, and has signed a 5-year deal. It's brilliant news.
It is. Yeah. Just before I come to you, Luke. Sorry. Liam Walker. We signed him on the Thursday. I got Hill straight to in the back of my shirt on Friday. That's commitment. We like that. We like that a lot. Dave Whitehead was like, they'll be playing Championship football next season anyway. Yes, you're on the train. We're okay with that. And Gazendo, I've been going EP since 1977. I've never known us being this strong as a club in the sense of owner stability and future proofing. It's just, it's so exciting. So
it's crazy.
What did you think about Brad Hill signing for us permanently on a 5-year contract, as Dan mentioned?
I couldn't quite believe it, in all honesty, because the Norwich manager obviously had a good look at him, didn't quite fancy him, but to me, he looks ready made for the Championship. The fact that he's 20, 21, I honestly think he might be a Premier League player one day. He's got the physique, the stature of somebody who's looks 10 years older than him in terms of strength and physicality, and that just keeps him in good stead for those 5 years. And I assumed it'd be a loan. To be honest, I assumed he'd be in Norwich's plans, and I think they've made a mistake. Having said that, he didn't play very well against Leyton Orient. He was okay last night.
I think he has a bit of he's had a bit of a mixed pre-season, because I think Norwich have signed 3 or 4 centre backs. So you just seen him going down that pecking order. So yeah, I did expect that it would be a loan. I wasn't expecting him. I wasn't expecting us to sign him. I think if you'd have said that, you know, at the back end of last season, everyone was rating him that he was going to be 5, 6, 10 million pound player, and especially that he was going to go back and he was going into the Norwich team and he was going to be playing for Norwich. So for us to get him for $1 million, I mean, I think that's an absolute bargain, because I think, again, as Gazendo said, you know, we're future proofing. He's on a 5-year contract. We're going to make a lot of money out of this lad. Yeah. I see that, and he's got old school centre back characteristics.
Yeah, he's a bit crazy. You know, he's a bit bad.
He's crazy.
But he doesn't take no shit. You know, if you want to push him, he will push you back twice as hard. Now, a lot of people have said, "Oh, he needs to calm his temper down." I don't want to see him calm his temper down. He needs to learn where the line is and what is going to get him into trouble. But I'd like seeing players that give as good as what they get, don't get bullied, you know, stand their ground, you know, puff their chest out, stand another inch taller, and go, well, if you want a bit of it, I'm here for you. I'm all for that, you know. And I say, I think the lads got it all, to be honest. And same here with Clint Hill and Dave Challoner mentoring him, you know.
Two great centre backs.
Yeah, played at a decent level as well, didn't you? Clint Hill played Premier League, League One, whatever it was called at the time when he was playing. Dave Challoner was in cup finals and stuff. So it's to say that's an absolute coup. I think along him and Mothersill, as we said, that's an absolute coup. And Matt Baxter. It's obviously it's only the same people that keep commenting, so I'm not concentrating on certain people. I've not got any favourites, but everyone's coming up with good points. So Matt Baxter said could have Pye and Hills in place for the next 10 years. What a centre back pairing that'd be.
Yeah, well, that'd be fantastic.
They'd take us to the Europa League final, wouldn't it?
With Hills, the game to watch out for this season will be Northampton, because Norwich played Northampton in pre-season, and Hills.
Is this when he decked the guy?
Yeah, there was a bit of blood everywhere, where there was head clashing and sorts, and grabbing older shirts and stuff like that. So that'll be quite interesting fixture when it comes around with Northampton, with Hills. But no, I say, what's not to like about him? To be honest,
he's fantastic, and he doesn't take shit. We've seen him in a county shirt not take shit. You know, he got unfairly sent off at Wrexham. Yeah, but that's because he was putting it about a bit as well. He was giving it back to him, and so he's got that in him. He's ready made for the next level.
Yeah, and same again. You could see him in 3-4 years' time, captain material. You know, I wouldn't want to put that pressure on him now because he's so young. He needs to bed himself in. But in 2, 3, 4 years' time, you could see him as a county captain, because, like I say, I just think he's immense.
Do you think he should be playing centre back? As in, you know, we obviously play 3. He's currently playing right centre back. Do you think he should be maybe centre back?
I don't know. I think he suits that right centre back role, because he played sort of there and right wing back, sort of right back a few times, didn't he, for his last season? So I think he's got the capability of that. I think that Hoskonen is the man to be in the centre, and then Pye on the other side of him if we're playing a back 3. Because you say, you know, that's another one. We've not seen Hoskonen yet. He's a Finnish international.
Scored against England.
International who scored against England is in the Stockport County squad. And he's not even played.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
It's bonkers, really.
Yeah,
it's bonkers.
And I know people say that you can't compare it. You know, some people want to be back in the National League because you could get a pint in the Cheadle Lane, you could do this, you could blah. Bullshit, man. Bullshit. Those were the days when we struggled and we nearly went out of existence. We need to make sure that we hold on to them days as older fans and remember them, so that we can appreciate how good we've got it now. Absolutely. And how far this club is going to go. because 7-year plan was to get us to the Championship. That's not the end of it. In my eyes, that's not the end of it. That's the end of that plan. And then a new plan comes into place.
Do you guys remember the time when we signed Jarko Wiss?
Oh, Jarko Wiss, what a player.
Great player.
And the amount, how the media storm that came around that and everything else around it. And you think that was when we were a Championship club. We're doing that now as a League One club. We're buying probably players of that same sort of caliber as a League One club that we were doing in the Championship at the time. It is amazing.
No, I looked up that Jarko Wiss transfer. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, it was £250,000. So yeah,
he was great. I mean,
he was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Carlton Palmer who said that Andy Kilner was also their agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Shefty got sold the day that Carlton Palmer took the job.
Yeah, that was I
think we got that when we did a while ago when we did a podcast with Carlton Palmer, and he said that was one of the things Shefty Kikuchi got sold the day that he came in.
Yeah, it's on. It is on YouTube. So if you've not watched the Carlton Palmer special, it's definitely it's an interesting one of how
such a fascinating, such a character. So on that, obviously, like to thank all our patrons for being patrons, for paying the money. But we've got you get everything we produce. You get that ad free. You get that as it goes live. You get this ad free. You get the review pod that Dan's involved in. You get the match preview pod, which we've got Lauren doing that this season. So she takes that segment away from the main pod. She runs that on her own. She has pretty much got every team lined up, I think, until Christmas. So she does that. That comes out generally on a Thursday. So you get all that ad free. You get a monthly draw for a prize that we sort out for you. You also get invited when we've got live events. Speaking of live events, we have Tony Dinning on Friday. We are interviewing Tony Dinning. We're not just going to talk about that penalty against Weaver at Main Road. We'll try and squeeze some other bits in because I think he had a pretty decent career at County. But yeah, obviously we'll be talking about that. That is invite only. If you're a patron, you get put on the list. We send you links. You can get invited to that. We've got a few irons in there trying to find other people, getting that all sorted. We don't like to say anything until we've got it all sort of set in stone, but we are sort of working for other ones. So as soon as we have any of those live events, you're the first people that get invited. Also, obviously, we'd like you to like, subscribe, share, do all of that jazz. I don't know the official words. Rusty's much better at this stuff, obviously. I'm not practiced, but I'm doing as good as I can. And that's about it from that side of things. So the one thing that we've got left to do, and I have apologized to Luke for this, and unless Luke, you've got a song that you want to sing for this one. Have you not? Dan, do you want to sing for random shit of the week? Anybody that's listening, Dan has just given me a visual signal that no, he doesn't want to. So we don't have a jingle for this yet, but it is random shit of the week. And as Andy has said for the last few weeks, this is, instead of getting the reses, we thought that would run its course. This is just random stuff, random little quizzes and things that we come up with.
Whoa. It's not like the clue is in the title. It's shit.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah.
And I can confirm it will be shit.
Well, no, maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Some of them have to have a bit of work involved previously. Obviously, I've not done that this week. So I had to choose one from the list that we've got so far for one. And unfortunately, I had to put Luke on the spot, and it was 10 minutes before the podcast started. So all I will say is that I apologise to Luke, but we have put you on the spot. Again, if anybody has any ideas of little random things that you want us to do at the end of the show, then please send them in to us. We'll put them on the list. We will try them out. If they work, they'll come back. If they are really shit, not random shit, then they get canned. So that is all I can say. So for this week, the random shit of the week, and this is really good for me and for Dan because we don't really have to do anything for it. This is all on Luke.
But we do expect all the listeners to actually send theirs in rather now or later in the comments.
Yes, absolutely. If you can think about this in a split second, because this is quite a thinker's one, I will admit. This is quite a thinker's one. It's not a quiz as such. It takes a bit of thinking. Now, I will say what it is, and then I will show you what mine is because I've got a picture of it. Okay. So a picture of what we're talking about for the random shit of the week. So what I've asked Luke is for the random shit of the week, give me your best five-a-side county all-time greatest team. So the stipulation that I went with to start with was we wanted a keeper, a defender, 2 midfielders, and a striker. And that can be anybody that you've watched play, you've seen play, you remember, anybody from the current squad, anything like that. So I did show this to Luke beforehand because I've thought about this before. So mine, if you can see that, it might be backwards, but basically we've got Carlo Nash in net, Ashley Williams in defence, Cooper Pilkington in midfield, and Madden up front. That's my five-a-side team for Stockport County. So if you can think about it, please put it in your comments. Put it in the comments of what you think your top 5 would be. If you know or have a think about it, message us or tag us on socials. Get involved with it, and then we'll put some up. Maybe put some. Come back and say some next week. But we will say, Luke, have you got your 10-minute version of your all-time Stockport County greatest five-a-side team? You have.
I've written it on the back of a fag packet.
So we're not playing 4-4 fucking 2. So we'll go through it. Let's go through it and we'll have a bit of discussion about it.
Okay.
Goalkeeper, who are you putting in net?
All right, before I start, five-a-side is different to 11-a-side.
Yeah, definitely.
I play five-a-side on Sunday. I'm terrible, but what I have noticed is that people that can play multiple positions tend to be good at five-a-side.
Exactly. So it's a bit different to naming your all-time 11 because you need that versatility. So I'm okay with that.
So spoiler alert, the defender, Mike Flynn, I think is probably our best defender in history, in my opinion. He wouldn't get in this team though.
So we're not starting with the goalkeeper.
You got go with Matty Bound, don't you?
First,
are you playing fly keeper? Is that what you're doing?
Hang on, are they allowed out the D or
no? Not in five-a-side. No,
and is it overhead height or not?
No, not for this game. No, we're not having overhead height. So what you're trying to
say
is that you've got Kevin Francis up front, so you can play it higher.
Let's start.
Sorry.
First name of the goal. First name is the goalkeeper. Obviously, I did think of Corey died because of his ability passing out, but I'm going with Ben Hinchliffe because he's good at five-a-side goals. Quite small, quite short. He's good at defending. Saving down low. That's not his strength, is it? His strength is passing out from the back. Neil Edwards was also a really good shout. I considered that one because of his size and stature. So Ben Hinchliffe, greatest player we've ever had. Not the best player we've had. Greatest.
No, we've had this discussion plenty of times.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we're going Ben Hinchliffe.
I'm going Hinchliffe, and then defence. This was quite hard, but gone with Sean Connolly. The reason for that is even though he didn't score a load of goals, he was a ratty little player who could always get a foot in and nick a ball away, which is really what you need in five-a-side. He's decent going forward, and when you need him to come up big, he will.
You're just thinking Middlesbrough, aren't you? You're thinking.
I'm literally thinking of one goal. One goal. But it was a good goal.
Yes, no, absolutely.
He's more the ratter to get the ball and spread it around.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having that.
Good five-a-side teams tend to have someone who can spread it around a bit in midfield. Got a bit of mobility. Tom Bennett might be the best we've ever had at that. Ollie Norman's a good shout for that role, but Tom Bennett has achieved a bit more.
Bennett.
Yeah. Again, because of the fluidity you need in five-a-side, you got people dropping back into midfield, defence, attack. My other midfielder is Anthony Pilkington, which I nicked from you.
Yeah, okay.
But he's got the flexibility to play in multiple positions. He can play on the left, he can play on the right. So, and then up top, this might have been the hardest one actually. You just want someone who can keep the ball and put it in the back of the net. It's someone who's nippy.
Such a simple job.
So easy. I put Louis Cavaco.
Cavaco?
Yeah, because of the wizardry. Because of the pure basic wizardry. He was the hardest player to get the ball off, it seemed like. My second choice of this one was, I can't remember his first name, but I think we had him in non-league. Was it Baker? What was his first name?
Carl Baker.
Carl Baker. Yeah.
We had him.
He would be a good five-side player.
After we got promoted after the playoff against Rochdale, I think it was the season after that one.
Yes.
He was when we got into League One. I would have him in mind because same again, Andy Kilner, Carl Baker in the midfield, definitely for me. Neil Edwards for me again, same again, great shot stopper. Obviously his height was obviously the big talking point with him, but great stop shotter. Defence, I always loved Bill Williams in his prime. You never beat him, to be honest. And then, like you say, up front, it's who do you have? Like you say, you're not wanting a target man. You want a finisher. God, it's a hard one. All time.
Madden's a good shout.
Yeah, definitely. Madden's a brilliant shout for that. But yeah, like you say, for me, I'd have. Same again. Chrissy Beaumont, you could play in any of them positions: defense, midfield, up front, and he, like you said, versatility, absolutely brilliant. Can beat a man. Yeah, it's not an easy one to pick at all.
No, it's good. I think that's a really good one. So we've got a few coming in. Liam Walker, Ben Inchliff, Sean Connolly, Mike Flynn, Tony Dinning, and Luke Beckett. So he's gone 2 defenders, and then that's a decent lineup. I'm not going with the old because he's only given me his back. So Gazendo, Big Ben, Flinney, Tom Bennett, Kevin Cooper, Alan Armstrong.
Yeah,
that's a good Armstrong's shout a good shout. That's a really good shout.
Yeah, Armstrong could hit a ball from anywhere, and he'd hit it. When he hit a ball, Alan Armstrong, he hit a ball. And same again. Will obviously the link with Tony Dinning, that they both joined the club from Newcastle on the same day. I can remember their debuts, and like I say, they just look like 2 kids that have turned up for a game. They look like the shirt drowned them, to be honest, on their debuts. But God, what players they were.
Yeah, and then one last one from Matt Baxter. And no, I don't love you. I did see the comment. I wasn't going to show it. He's got Ben, Gannon, Norwood, Lloyd, and Madden.
Danny Lloyd.
Danny Lloyd. He'd be a good shot
from anywhere.
Five-a-side.
Yeah, five-a-side. You're never going to get the ball at feet. No. The only way you'd kick him up in the air, wouldn't you? To be honest, let's be absolutely honest. You know that someone's just going to kick him up in the air. But it's same again for five-a-side. He'd be fantastic. Same again, Gannon. You could play anywhere, Gannon, couldn't he? On any type of pitch. And he'd just be a nightmare.
So anybody watching this back or watching this tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, listening to it tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, please send them to us on socials. Just tag us in on the socials. We'll have a look at them. Maybe mention them some next week and stuff like that. If not, we'll reply to you. Try and maybe put a league together of the most popular players for it.
And if you're any good at graphics, send them as a graphic, send them as a picture, and we'll then retweet them on the socials of your.
We're not that good. Yeah, we're not that good. So you guys crack on with that type of stuff. So, so I think we're about done. That has flown by. As always, at the beginning of it, I'm like, are we really going to be able to talk this for an hour? But we did talk nearly 45 minutes about the Bradford game, basically. There was a lot to unpack around that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share on YouTube, all that good stuff. Give us a review on whatever podcast player you're listening to us on. And lastly, I would like to say thank you, Luke, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dan, for joining us. Is there? And finally, I would just say thank you, everybody else for joining us, everybody else for getting involved. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. This has obviously been the Scarf Bagara War. By fans, for fans. Cheers. Thank you.
See you all later.